Very well, to our interactive segment, as we have mentioned since morning, is that over 73,000 registered voters in all Kalou are casting their ballot, exercising their right. And from the nomination of candidates, campaign conduct to electoral matters and the dispute, what is the role of the law and what is the role of the courts? What does the law say and what should the voters be looking at in all Kalou election? Joining me now is Onchweri Nyamari, who is a constitutional lawyer and an advocate of the High Court. Thank you so much for making time. Karibu sana at the program.
Thank you, thank you.
First things first, there's a question I asked earlier on in regards to, we have two legislators or lawmakers who were fined by the IEBC because of electoral malpractices. Can somebody go to court seeking for more punishment for the two leaders? And can the parties themselves decide to discipline these two members?
First of all, our constitution allows any person to walk into a court of law and, of course, present their grievances. That is in respect to Article 22, 24 of the Constitution, in respect of whichever right that they so feel has been infringed, threatened, or is likely to be threatened. So, at all, if the two lawmakers, they themselves feel that their rights have been violated, they are free to walk into a court of law and seek an appeal on the decision that the Commission has taken. However, the Commission is also empowered by the Constitution to set rules and regulations in respect of what is enshrined in Article 81 in respect of what an electoral system ought to be. That it has to be a system where the election itself is free, it's out of free from violence. There are certain things, parameters that have been set by the Constitution on how an election should be envisaged and look like. So in that premise, then the Commission is rightfully empowered to set rules, regulations, policies that guide that exercise. But as they do so, they should be aware that they should not infringe on people's rights. But then they should do it to ensure that they safeguard, promote, enhance the spirit of the Constitution as far as elections is concerned. So the two lawmakers that were fined, I stand in a position to guide that the law gives them a right to go and appeal if at all they so wish to say that their rights are infringed. But at the same time, the parties, the political parties from where they come from, play a key role as far as discipline is concerned. So in as much as they have been fined, I think this is a situation whereby all key players are invited so that we ensure that we have a peaceful country, we have an election that is free from violence, we have, you see, the Constitution envisages an election which is simple, free, fair, verifiable, and all that. So that if we are able to look at all these incidences, then we should be calling out any other person who comes in to bring mchezo on elections. The two lawmakers, together with their actions and the fines that they have been imposed on them, whatever has happened should be a lesson to any other person. Even as we say, we look forward to ensure that all the rights that are awarded or accorded to the people, the aspirants, or the key players in an election, they are all safeguarded.
And still on the same, because we have seen a lot of, during by-elections, we've seen a lot of goonism, we've seen a lot of enticement, we've seen a lot of violence. From where you sit, do we need to make amends to the electoral laws and the Elections Act to maybe also incorporate this type of electoral malpractices? Because from the by-elections we saw, in the by-election in Bere, there was a lot of violence. I can tell you because I actually covered that election. We have seen in the last 2-3 weeks a lot of violence.
Yeah, I stand from a position where I normally say that the Constitution has not been implemented fully. In fact, people have to say that our Constitution is one that is progressive and almost the most perfect one within the African region. So if we implement it to the latter, if we put steps to ensure that all the provisions therein are all implemented, we will not be seeing the kind of things that we are seeing. then that calls for the key players in an election system, starting from the security personnel, going to the commission, going to the voters themselves. Everybody has to be disciplined. Everybody has to exercise some level of maturity so that we are able to realize that which the Constitution gives us. And what the Constitution gives us is basic. An election that is free, fair, verifiable, and when all that is achieved, then we can say that we have attempted to implement the Constitution to the latter. In the absence of that, we will always be asking ourselves such questions that, like the one you are asking me, that should we amend the laws? We shouldn't be amending the law so that we fit in. We should allow the law to guide us so that we actually fit in.
Well said. I'm looking at the most common electoral offences that can impact the outcome of all Kalou by-elections. So far, everything has been smooth. But what are some of the things or some of the red zones that we shouldn't be going to?
We have pointed out a number, and again, that it is not right to buy people's will. It is not right to bribe voters. It is not right to, cheat someone by giving them 200 shillings or 500 shillings for them to be able to turn up. This is something that has been enshrined in the Constitution, that you have to exercise your right as a person, as a citizen, and as you do so, you have a responsibility, one, to elect someone who is honest, someone who has integrity, someone who is not easy to be found in some funny crimes. For example, voter bribery. There have been incidences where we have seen those who have vied, Mbera North, we saw it. The other day we were in Kasipul, we saw that. Yeah. Now we are in, Kalou. Yeah. We have seen the kind of money that is being spent. Yet, when it comes to development, we look at this and ask ourselves, when the government doesn't give schools, for example, capitation, we ask ourselves, where is the money? But you see, in these elections, we have seen money being dished out left, right, and center. And not just money, a lot of money.
Yeah, and because of the interest of time, because my director informs me that we are running out of time, I'll ask her, what legal redress can anyone aggrieved seek after these elections?
I normally say that the courts or the judiciary is the last resort. And I pray that the judicial actors or players will be sober enough to make the right decisions. Of course, looking at where the country is, and of course, seeking to uphold the rule of law, so that if you are aggrieved, you know the process of going to court, present your grievances, and the courts can make independent judgment so that justice can be served. So the legal redress is within the Constitution, which we actually need to implement to the latter.
Thank you so much. That has been Onchweri Nyamari, an advocate of the High Court and a constitutional lawyer. We have been looking at the legal grey areas that we need to check out in regards to the all Kalou by-election and the next coming election, if it's a by-election or the general election. Thank you for your insight as well.